Hey everyone, we got Benny here who got first place at our 4th of July Digimon tournament. We only had 18 players at the time, which is still, really nice for, being a holiday weekend. So walk us through what you have.
Yeah, I'm going to start a little bit different. I'll start with my champions and my eggs. So I'm playing what a lot of people would know as McDonald's or red-yellow security control. I just made it to where I want to, like a way I want to play the deck, because some of the other versions I've seen, their playstyle's a lot different than mine, and I'm not comfortable with that. So I tried this out. The eggs, I just run 4 Digimon. Seems like a good idea because I generally want to keep my security stack high, so I'm trying to get free draw. Champions and Kilomon, security Digimon. I only have 3. I had 4. I thought about what I wanted to cut, and I cut 1 for another Gaia Force. I mean, it just feels weird to not play 4 Gaia Force in a security control deck, so that had to happen. And I know this card may seem optional to a lot of people, but for me, I like to have the option of Digivolving up in the raising area. I know a lot of security control decks don't really do that. I like doing that because I want to see certain cards, and I like drawing. I just like drawing, and I feel like if we're playing a security control deck and you get like Eden's Javelin early, kind of sucks. And it really sucks if you're just playing a card a turn or something and you don't have anything to give it more power, more juice, so you can get rid of bigger threats. Or even in security, it feels kind of bad if you can't remove the threat, you just draw a card. It's okay. So that's Ankylomon, that's why I run a couple of these guys. And moving on to my ultimates, I have 2 Mistymon, 4 Magna Angemon. So 4 Magna Angemon's pretty standard, you know, you just want to play this, and maybe you can get 12 up if you can. If not, great, you still get +1 security. And of course Inheritable, which you swing over things, or maybe swing safely, it's nice. Mistymon, just being another 5-drop is good. I might add more of Mistymon, maybe not. But it's good for just getting rid of little threats. Sometimes you don't want your opponent to get too comfortable, and also being a 5 lets you Digivolve up to 6. So that's why I run 2 of this, maybe more in the future. The Magnadramon, very important card for this deck to survive, because 1, security control, you want to build up your security so people have more roadblocks in the way. They can't just kill you off. And when people find out, like, oh, look, they're playing Cubimon and see Magna Angemon early, they're pretty wary of leaving you at 3 anyway, so, I mean, it's just a threat. Just recovering is just a threat. Okay, so these were from the old set. Chaosmon Volderarm. This card, I mean, this card is great. It just made yellow or anything playing yellow amazing.
Actually could make him fight rather than just chill and relax and
we actually
stall.
Hit people now. This is amazing. 14k. It's a beater, and it does -7 to up to 2 Digimon. You can choose the same Digimon if you want to -7 to remove a big threat, or you just delete multiple threats. Card is amazing, and on top of being deleted to recover 3 of your memory, it doesn't really feel bad when he does die. It's okay. Like, you'll live with it. Sometimes it passes turn over to you, or sometimes if he dies when you swing, you can make bigger plays happen on your turn. Alright, so amazing card. I have more megas, but I'll show you because you're looking at the ratio and you're like, what the hell? He has like 3 Volderarm and 4 Magnadramon. How the hell does he ever Digivolve into this? There's more. I just decided to move him down the chain a little bit because these are more of a standard card and more standard cards in the deck. So I'm just going to run through these because everyone kind of knows what these do. The TKs, you just don't want to get choked, and TK is still one of the best Tamers in the game at the moment, and especially for yellow, just hands down the best.
Did you feel that 2 copies was comfortable enough for you?
2 copies was comfortable. I did get choked a couple times in the later rounds because I didn't see him early enough, but it was okay. Because I'm usually giving my opponent a lot of memory anyways, and they usually don't give me enough to make a lot of combo plays. It was okay. If I wanted to run 3, I probably could, and it'd feel better. I'm sure it'd feel a lot better because I play other yellow decks, or decks that run a lot of yellow, and I put 3 in there. Because being choked, especially if you're playing a more traditional yellow deck like Yellow Warbirmon, where you need that 3 to start, even though they have Blinding Ray, it's still nice to be able to do that without having to take out your own security. So Yeah, maybe 3. The Takamiya. This card, I was trying to figure out the number. What's the right number? I used to have 3, bumped it up to 4. I think I just don't want to not be able to cast the Gaia Force that's in my hand. I mean, sometimes you play against Mega Zoo type decks, or sometimes even Yellow Wargreymon, for example. Like, if they build up really fast because I just dropped like a Magnon one, just build a real big stack, and my only removal in my hand is Gaia Force, and I don't have this, it's gonna be a pretty quick game probably. Unless they're all hiding in security, like they're supposed to be. But if they're in my hand, I want to be able to play it, and so I decided to go with 4 here, and that worked out pretty well today. I was never in a position, actually, where I couldn't cast a Gaia Force when I needed it. 4 7 Heavens, and 4 Gaia Force. So these are the options: 4 Gaia Force, 4 7 Heavens, and 4 Eden's Javelin. These are the main removal options I have in here that I would prefer that they be in the security section. Of course, this is what makes the deck survive. Being able to get rid of anything that they attack with and just constantly replenishing, so hopefully I get them in there, and eventually it's like a game of attrition at that point. Yeah, these are pretty standard cards. I'll move on to the cards that I think most red-yellow security control decks aren't playing. So I'll move these over here. So I'm actually playing a lot of rookies. I'm playing 2 Bushi. Bushi Agumon. I decided to run with this guy because, 1, he's a rookie, and for my playstyle, I do like to draw, and so I like going up the chain, or having the option to go up the chain. Because sometimes, like Mistymon, maybe they're playing a lot of bigger guys, or maybe they're not playing anything, and so sometimes I don't even have to hard cast them, I can just stitch it all up. And yeah, so Bushi is there for just being a rookie and to have the option to say, like, I got you, like, you left me too much memory, you get that 1 extra hit in. And yeah, he's very useful for that, just a surprise play. And even for Magnetramon too, just comes out for free, even better. The surprise factor, ways to make your opponent think, and anything that you can do to throw off someone's math is pretty good to have, I think. Sometimes, because people do a lot of thinking on their turns, like, a lot of people who are really serious, they're going to try to calculate everything. Okay, I give my opponent this much memory, like, what can I do with it? Am I going to die next turn? And stuff like Bushi, where you just come out of nowhere, sometimes you can't account for that. And sometimes, even if they do account for it, they have to play the probability game. And yeah, it's either you have it or you don't sometimes. 2 Patamon. Just for recovery, and I mean, it's pretty hard to get down to 1, but 1 and under in this deck. But there's a chance, and the fact that he's a rookie too, because I couldn't really think of any better rookies to replace him with at the same time, so I decided to run 2 of this. I could cut it if I had more Pulsemon, but I only have 3, so if I were to replace it, I'd probably do that. I would turn 1 of these over here. Because Pulsemon is Pulsemon. The most ridiculous promo you can get, I think, at this point. Yeah, getting this card is a pain in the neck if you weren't able to go to any events. If you're able to go to events and get it, that's great. This card should be played in anything running yellow, in my opinion. It's so good. It's just like Gabumon on steroids, because you get 1 memory if you're at 3. And if you don't, still it's like Gabumon. And he has 1k more. It's twice as much power as Gabumon. I don't know why he did that. To round out my rookies, so I'm playing 11. I play 4 Salamon for the recovery aspect, and because it's a rookie, I like to move up the chain. And if I do get, so let's say, and this happens a lot, because I am running only 2 TK, usually the opponent will probably get their memory tamer before me, which does kind of suck, but she can also help choke. So sometimes a hard dropper if I already built up something there. And yeah, I mean, obviously it doesn't choke them, but if they don't have a tamer, I can choke them, and if they do, well, body is what it is. She's still a threat, because then I can also recover when I'm 3 and under. And yeah, I mean, she's actually done some weird things for me. All these rookies have actually done a lot of weird things for me today, just because I see a lot of my tie. So they actually become pretty strong. They either survive and hit for multiple security, or they help me take out anything up to an ultimate really. It's kind of nice, especially Bushi. He gets up to 7, which is, I mean, I killed Magna Angemon with a Bushi, so I don't know. And here's the main reason why I wanted to build this deck. So the real reason why I wanted to make this deck was because in BT4, we got cards like Racielmon and Tactical Retreat. And so these guys, I guess when you look at them, when you open your box or your boosters and you kind of look at your cards, you don't really care too much for them. But I really like that she's an on-Digivolve effect. Being a 4-cost does make her seem a little rough to play. But the thing is that when you Digivolve with her, into her, you gain 2 security right off the bat. So you recover 2, and what she says is that at the end of your opponent's turn, you have to trash the top part of your security. And some people might look at that and be like, okay, he's going to kill himself. It's kind of stupid. Like, it's not even a real big threat. It's only 10 anyways. But that's the thing, though. 1, and usually people don't leave you with more than 3 security either. Not security, 3 memory. So when you Digivolve, you kind of pass your turn, right? You drop shots 4, so let's say you were at 3, or they left you at 3, anything under. Digivolve, you pass your turn. You do get 2 security, and I think that's huge, because 1, your opponent looks at it and just thinks that you'll just leave it there and you just kill yourself. I mean, that could happen, but usually when I Digivolve into her, I usually have this ready or I have this ready. So at most, if I can't Digivolve her into Chaos Voltron that same turn, I'm just going to take 1. So it's a recovering 1 from her effect, and that's not bad. And Tactical Retreat, if I'm in a pinch and I really need security, I'll gain 2 and then Tactical Retreat it if I actually have 4, at least 4 memory. So I'll gain 3 security in just 1 play, and I like that as well. And that's kind of the reason why I do run these Ankylamon here, just to have that option to build up safely. Sometimes you want to be able to, well, I mean, especially when people start seeing what you're playing, they're not going to let you go to Voltron as easily as you'd like. If they just see Magna Angemon, they see Mistymon, they're like, okay, we're going to get rid of it. If they have removal options, just get rid of it, and you're never going to be able to build up. So just having 3 of these actually did help me. It does help me build up safely. And yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I just really wanted a reason to play this, and I'm really happy I got around to playing it.
It's pretty smart, when way you broke that down, because for people who are watching, there are people that definitely want to incorporate that deck in their build, mainly for degenerate reasons, because she's a cutie. But her effect definitely is a bit of a turnoff. The 4-cost Digi-Evolution and being only 10k. So it's actually pretty cool that you were able to actually find a real use around her or with her. Because anyone who's at home, anyone watching this video, they see this as like, oh crap, this is I didn't even think about it like that. When that type of perspective, they probably read the effect and were thinking subtle things. But the way you broke it down was actually it's pretty cool. Any matches gave you? I know there was out of all the games, you went undefeated. You did not drop any rounds, and only one of your games it went into time.
Yeah, one year at a time. Yeah, no, the matches were really, I would say they definitely got harder as we went. Of course, that's obvious. That should be the case because as you move up, people who are doing better, you're going to face them, right? But yeah, no, the decks were very interesting. I played a lot of variety today. My first opponent, shoot, man, everyone was. It was a very interesting day today. I played a lot of different decks, like Yellow War Greymon was one, of course, that I was expecting to. It's a very popular deck in the meta right now. That one went to time. But yeah, I don't think that one really would have given me too much of a hard time, but it is tough because they do have that removal and aggression. And sometimes if you don't have perfect security or even just decent security, they can really run through you. And this being a 6k does suck because War Greymon will just come out, take him out, hit you, and if he doesn't die and survives through security, that can be some trouble.
How often did that happen?
I think it happened once, but that's a threat because if I know I'm playing Yellow War Greymon, I have to think about, I have to just look at this and be okay with him dying. I mean, generally I'm okay with it, but I would like to have another option to move up. and make sure I can have a way of dealing with that War Greymon too.
Do you hard cast him less when you're dealing with a yellow War Greymon deck, or do you decide to just go up the chain?
I generally hard cast it anyways, but I have to think about it, because if I do have the way of like a way going up where I can do this and also go into Boulder Arm, I might do that if I don't have any other removal options. Like if I didn't get, let's say, an Eden's Javelin that was powerful enough to take care of it, or if I didn't get the Gaia Force, then I would have to think about that. Maybe that's a play I'll make instead of recovering, because there's other ways to recover, and we don't have to depend on this. So, but the inheritable is still a bonus too, regardless of which way you get them out there. Like this guy becomes big, or she becomes bigger. Even this guy gets a little bit bigger. And with the ties in here, I had her, I think, at maybe 14k or something at one point, which was pretty funny. I didn't even swing either because I really wanted to get into this Chaos Boulder Arm. I was like, yeah, no, we're just gonna. I mean, there's still that off chance I do hit a Boulder Arm, and let's just play it safe.
Cool. So I know we mentioned about you might be adding a extra TK. What would you take out?
Man, if I had to take out another card, it's hard. I may take out another rookie. So one of the things I had today, and all the matches were pretty. I mean, they're all interesting and very different because every deck is different. Today I got fortunate to play against a variety, and let's say like I think the Mega Zoo game and the other McDonald's deck. Those two matches I came really close to decking out. Very close. One game I decked out, and that was against Red Yellow McDonald's. And Mega Zoo, 2 cards left. I got there 2 cards left, and so that's what I've learned when playtesting this deck, is that because I'm running so many rookies and I have so many ways of either recovering or drawing, I can deck myself out pretty quickly if I'm not careful. And so if I had to take out another card for another TK, I may consider another rookie. Like this doesn't come up as much, so maybe I'll cut one Salamon. I could cut out the other Patamon because I really don't get that on play.
Do you feel that Pulse 1 at 3 is definitely comfortable, or would you have?
I would love a 4th. Like I would definitely switch one of these over if I had a 4th one, and so maybe I'd cut out Patamon completely for a TK. The tie, I really just like being able to play the Gaia Force though, because I'm not playing any other. Like, I'm not playing red eggs. I know some McDonald's decks just run red egg, like one Koromon and they're good. They're like, okay, we're set for life. But I can't play that kind of deck because I like being able to unbrick my hand if I have the option.
It's one of the very few cards that is a 2 cost, so it gives that choking.
Yep.
How often does that happen when you're able to just choke your opponent with a tie?
Today I probably did it about two times maybe. One time I think I did it where I actually played 2 and I passed it over to 1. So that was, I mean, it's not really a great feeling to have 2 in your hand at the same time. But if you have nothing better to do and your opponent doesn't have a memory tamer, choking is a very good way of, I mean, that's kind of what you want to do, right? You want to limit what your opponent can do in 1 turn. So, yeah, that definitely does come into play. This is my only 2-drop, I think, outside of, my other cheaper drop being Tactical Retreat at 1. That is really, these are like the only ways I really could choke somebody outside of Digivolving. And this does happen. I have Digivolved into Ankylomon. This guy actually did a lot of work for me today. I remember in the green match, he was a 7 or 8K too. So he was doing work off the ties. I think I take care of. I know he got through blockers, but I forgot what was the big, I think it was a Mega Kabuterimon or something. I don't remember. It was a 7K. And I thought that was actually really funny. But no, he also survived some interesting security checks too. Yeah, these ties are, I guess they're here and they do a little more than just help me play Gaia Force. They're very interesting cards.
Yeah, and you've actually gotten first place a few times. I think you're probably one of the few that's gotten the most consistent first place here. Because if you're not playing something that's like scary, you're kind of testing out a lot of unique decks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, it's always fun to play. Just this card game is really fun, and I think that even now people are still trying to figure out, what what is meta and how can we deal with what the perceived meta is, because some people will already tell you, oh, the meta is like OTK, yellow, like they'll go down the list. There's a lot. McDonald's Control, Imperial. People will tell you different answers depending on who you ask. And so, I mean, I think that's part of the fun though, because there's no clear-cut answer on what's really dominating the meta. It can just tell you what's the most popular. Because for some people, it's like a triangle maybe, or a circle, whatever it is. People seem to think that, there is a way to beat another deck. There's not something that's on top yet, like clearly above everyone else. And so I think that's what's really fun. I don't know. It's just like, that's why I try the random decks sometimes. And it's really nice though when they do work out. But sometimes they don't. A lot of times they don't. But it feels good when they do.
Would you feel that this deck is one of those random decks you'll see more of? Like maybe other people might sample off your build, and especially the way how you play. What's her name?
Oh, Racielma?
Racielma. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope so, because I do think that she is a really cool card. I think that her ability is a little underrated, if not severely underrated. I think she's probably like pennies right now online. But yeah, no, I would hope so. I would hope that someone does try it. I think that this card's so cool. Like I said, you can gain 2. At worst, you gain 1. You can gain up to 3. You can just remove people's stuff because people don't want to remove it, because she'll probably remove herself. You can keep swinging if you want, because if people don't want to remove it, just keep getting free swings, and then they evolve or retreat it. I think she's a cool card. Yeah.
Who would you, or what cards do you think would be the MVPs of your deck?
Oh, MVPs of the deck, probably her, because this card lets me keep up with other recovery decks too. They don't see it coming, so if they do hit me, or if I'm allowed to take extra hits, and I can recover up. Magnetramon's restricted to having 3 and under, and she has no restriction limit, so that's why I like her. There's no restriction for that. It's just having to pay at the end of your opponent's turn. I would say that this is an MVP. This card is actually really good, and people can't account for this sometimes when they're doing their math and security, right? You just recover 1. So it's like they didn't hit you at all. You just hit it, and you put a new card there. And maybe the new card is a Gaia Force and gets rid of something else. Yeah. I think I'll probably say that these guys are the MVPs. Balderarm, of course, the unquestionable MVP, I think, for yellow in general.
Oh, sorry. And do you think 3 copies is good enough?
Oh, yeah. This card, I had 4 too when I was playing around, and it's really easy to deck yourself out with this card, so you gotta be careful. Definitely have to be careful. You draw, you recover 2. Recovering 2 is no joke, especially if you're drawing a lot in this deck. Yeah, it's basically like when people play like Lady Digimon, they draw 3, discard 2. It's kind of like that. You recover 2, draw 1. You can deck yourself out if you're not careful.
All right, cool. So any shout-outs you want to give it?
Oh, of course. I'm going to give a shout-out to everyone at CSG. I love coming to play here. It's a great atmosphere. Everyone is really, I think everyone's friendly, but also really competitive too. And creative. So I think that's really cool. There's always something new to learn. I think every time I come here, I see someone else playing something, I want to add it to the deck that maybe I thought wasn't good. Like a lot of people playing Digimon. I know it's an expensive card, but yeah, I might want to throw that in here too now. Just seeing how good it is with other people. And then of course, my friends, Anson, Jensen, Shine, who's not here today because he's doing other things today because he's a busy guy, 4th of July. Eric over there too. Everyone's cool, all helpful people. And so they definitely pushed me too. Because Jensen plays security control, and so I saw him getting a lot of success as well, and I was like, oh, you know what? Let's try it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for giving us a very thorough deck profile, and especially some changes you would like to make and everything. Can't wait to see what kind of decks that you make that possibly top. I know there's other deck profiles I actually wanted to do with you, but you were kind of like pressed on time because you did have some obligations right after the tournament.
Yeah.
But definitely appreciate you making the time to walk us through your first place deck here tonight.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, everyone at home, thank you for watching. Video went a little long, but it's a great watch because I like it when our players like to break down their deck. It's not just like looking at a deck and thinking, oh, I'll just run this and I'll just top. No, there's actually a science behind it. There's a reason why players play the ratios that they do, and even when they, you know, when they actually play and get results, there's still like some modifications they see. They look at the meta around them, and it does differ from place to place too. So don't forget to hit the like, notifications, subscribe. I know we just did our first YouTube streaming. I think we are going to try and aim to do Twitch streams, though. We'll post a link to that. We're testing around this evening. I mean, I'm basically just one dude running a shop and trying to do all these tournaments for you guys. So thank you for watching at home, and yeah,